Welcome to a podcast by opentheword.org, where we discuss a bit of Bible, a bit of life, and a bit of politics.
Hi, my name is Alexander, and in this podcast I want to talk about a strange occurrence taking place today. Scientists are warning that the Euphrates River is drying up. You may know that prophets in the Bible predicted this would happen thousands of years ago, and they said it would be part of the apocalyptic events at the end of our times. The Euphrates River, one of the longest rivers in Asia, originates in Turkey and flows through Syria and Iraq. The cradle of ancient civilizations formed near those rivers, and they are important in many Bible stories. They also form a huge freshwater system that millions of people depend on today in the heart of the Middle East. The Bible predicted thousands of years ago that the Euphrates would dry up, and that will be important for events at the end of this age. Huge armies from the east will travel across dry rivers as they invade the Middle East and Israel. In the north of Israel is the wide valley of Megiddo. The Hebrew word for valley is Hor. So the final battle where God intervenes will be in Hor Megiddo, known to us as Armageddon. The Euphrates River system will block this invasion or make it easy. The Bible predicts easy. The prophet Isaiah, who lived 2,700 years ago, was one of the first to warn of the death of the Euphrates. He prophesied, quote, "The Lord will divide the gulf of the Egyptian sea. He will wave his hand over the Euphrates River and send a strong wind. He will turn it into 7 dried up streams and enable them to walk across in their sandals." That is in the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 15. And in his vision of the apocalyptic events leading up to the second coming of Christ, recorded in the book of Revelation, the Apostle John stated that the Euphrates dried riverbed would play a significant role. Quote, "Then the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates and dried up its water to prepare the way for the kings of the east." That is in the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 12. That is the prediction. The rivers will dry up and large armies will travel from the east to the Middle East. The words are clear, but how is that possible? Imagine predicting the end of the Amazon or the Mississippi rivers. Who would believe you? The Bible makes predictions that seem impossible. Can we trust the Bible? So when will the mighty Euphrates dry up? Well, scientists are warning that the Euphrates River system could dry up by the year 2040. And they are not referring to the Bible when they say that. If you do an internet search with keywords like Euphrates and drying, you will probably be surprised by the large number of articles and videos on the subject. Here's one example. In her article entitled, "Desert Drying Euphrates Threatens Disaster in Syria," in phys.org, Alice Hackman says it is on the verge of happening. She writes that part of the problem stems from several hydroelectric dams on the river in Turkey and Syria. And this, combined with a severe drought, is now threatening the very existence of the river. Syrian farmers who eke out an existence along the rivers say they have never seen the water so low, and it is threatening their livelihood, Hackman writes. We know this is happening. A prediction that was impossible is now possible. An impossible fairy tale is now a scientific reality. I believe that we are living in a time of Bible prophecy. The lights have come on and the stage is being set, just as the prophets predicted. And the Euphrates is not the only example. Until the year 1948, most of the world did not expect to see a reborn Jewish state of Israel. In 1948, the impossible miracle happened, and that ancient nation returned. And then, in 1967, Jerusalem and the site of the ancient temple returned to Israel. The world was surprised 2 times. Other lights came on over several years, and today, the impossible promises in the Bible are possible and realistic. The Bible predicted a world just like the one we are living in, and that seemed impossible until recently. We are living in interesting times. It is interesting that Jesus spoke to an audience and predicted what we are experiencing, and he did this 2,000 years ago. Here's the quote. Now, when these things begin to take place, straighten up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. And he told them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they come out in leaf, you see for yourselves and know that the summer is already near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God is near. That is in the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 28 to 31. When we see the beginning, when the impossible becomes possible, we should look up. The ancient promise that rivers would dry up shows us a piece of our future. Thank you for joining me in this podcast.
Thanks again for joining us on our podcast. Please check out our website at opentheword.org. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to receive notifications of future broadcasts. As well, please take a moment to provide a rating and even a review. Thanks again for listening.